Hey, what's going on? My name is Joe LaCastro, and this is A Millennial's Third Eyes podcast. Now, if you've listened to me before, or if you've followed my podcast or my journey, yeah, it used to be called Abandoned Planet. I'm sitting here because I recorded a podcast episode and it didn't go the full length recording, and I'm sitting here listening to my intuition, and I keep hearing, just be yourself, right? And there's a lot that comes with that. I'm laughing because a lot of clarity. Being yourself, A Millennial's Third Eye came from my journey because through my spiritual journey of awakening, I had this desire to create a page, a place to connect with others, to help others. And I had thoughts on, what do I want to call myself? Besides like being Joe, what do I want to call myself? And I was like, well, I am a millennial, and what's spiritual? It's a third eye. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a millennial's third eye. And for years, right? For years, I have changed my Facebook page name to probably like 15 or 20 different things, because to be honest with you, in the past, I felt it was successful, and then it wasn't at one point in my mind's eye, and so I changed it, and there was fear involved. There's all these different things, and I'm sitting here and I'm laughing because, what does it mean to be yourself? You're not doing anything for other people to like it. You're not forcing it. You're not trying something different. You are who you are, and A Millennial's Third Eyes, who I am. I don't think we realize, including myself, what we do sometimes, and we try to make it perfect, and we try to run from it. Or what does it mean to be yourself? It's really being who you are without perfectionism and trying to get the message out perfectly. It's being who you are. And I think that's really what I'm supposed to be talking about right now, is being who you are. Quite honestly, I had no plans on doing an episode. Life is funny. Life is interesting. It brings you to these moments where you didn't think you were going to do it, and then you're doing this other thing, and it leads you to this other thing, and here we are. So being yourself. A lot of thoughts have come to mind, especially with my recent experiences and what's going on. And unfortunately, I hurt my hand, but it's not bad. It provided this place for me to be still, to be with myself and not distract myself from myself. And in anything I really excuse me. Okay. Anything I really do, it's to share with you. And the reason why I love sharing is because I feel like sometimes we wait for a loving relationship or friendship or community to share ourselves with people, or to share our experience with people, because it's a vulnerable state, right? It's a vulnerable thing to be open, to share with someone what you have encountered, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. And I personally believe the reason why I love sharing is because you never know who might be listening, who you might meet that needed to hear that, or you help them think about something or feel something that they struggled with, that they go, wow, I never thought about it like that. And that's really why I love doing what I do, especially because you never know how that will really impact someone. You don't know where it could lead them in a great positive direction. Now, being that said, being still, being with myself, it was very challenging to be fully present. Who knew being fully present in the moment would be so difficult? We know it. We know things in layers. I feel and think in layers. You can't know the fullness of something until you know the beginning of it and the difficulties with that, and practicing it. And to be honest with you, I really wasn't fully present. And I believe that not a lot of us are. And that's okay. I think that this opportunity had brought me to be still with myself And at first, the goal really was just to practice being still. Like, you know what? Let's see what happens. And naturally, like I wanted to do other stuff and I wanted to, I guess, fill a void. I wanted to distract myself because that's the conditioned mindset. That's You're so used to getting these dopamine hits and doing all these things, and not that you can't do them. I'm just talking simply on the practice of being still. And wow, was that a challenge? But I did it, for several days now. I'll wake up, I'll have coffee, I'll play some like relaxing music and just be, my I say this because I don't know about you. Maybe this is why I need to share it. Who knows? I'm not sure. I'm in this moment of just like talking and being creative and just flowing, being myself. For a long time I wanted clarity. I was searching for answers. I was searching all over God's creation for the secrets of the universe. And I say that because I've had experiences that I would say are beyond the normal. And you're like, wow, I miss those experiences and I want to be happy again. Maybe you had like really great experiences and you're just wanting to have that feeling again. When something feels good, you have this tendency to like maybe want it more or want it forever. Or maybe you get addicted to something. Addiction is a thing. You could be addicted to activities, things. Like you don't have to be addicted to just like drinking and substance abuse. Anyways, it comes with appreciation. You start to appreciate it rather than I want more. I want it. I want it. I want it. It's interesting. So being still, I've always wanted answers, and it's almost like I would go to work. I would be okay. I would be content-ish, but I'm still kind of searching for more. There's got to be more to life. And being still has been, wow, eye-opening. Being still was a way I did not expect that was a form of self-love. And instead of being distracted by your external reality or doing something or getting something, you're now, in a way, loving yourself to understand yourself. And I at first I just sat there, just enjoying the moment. And then as days progressed, I started to think about things a little bit differently. I started to think, why do I need that? Or why do I want that? Or what else can I do? And I'm like, no, that's just distracting myself from me. And let's not do that. And man, has this helped me so much. I mean, let's start. Where do I start? I started to realize, first off, about myself, right? And I started to realize how uncomfortable I was about the past. I felt uncomfortable about recent events, hurting my hand. I was in fear or lost a little bit, per se, of external forces. And we give a lot of power away to our reality. What does that mean? Giving power away is giving thoughts and emotions and feelings away to something outside of yourself. People, what is this person going to think? What are they saying? What does this mean? And it distracts us from being able to love and trust and be secure with self. And the more I thought about this, the more I realized, wow, past experiences, I only knew what I knew then. And I said, yeah, I only knew what I knew then. And, our intentions are never to, well, I hope your intentions or my intentions are never to like be negative. And I was thinking, how can I judge anyone then by what they're in search for or what they're looking for, or they're just looking for love and understanding. The more I understood myself about these scenarios, the more I kind of pretty much understood other people. And that's how it goes. The more you meet yourself, the more you understand others, and the more you can only meet someone at the level of how much you've met yourself. And man, I was realizing how I wasn't showing up in the present moment with people or scenarios to the fullest of what I would really desire or want in anyone. And showing up fully is meaning you are comfortable with who you are, despite your past, despite your mistakes, despite your living situation, despite anything, the clothes on your back, the car you have or don't have, despite of anything, you're comfortable with who you are. And I find that challenging because a lot of us, we want to be loved, we want to be seen, we want to be understood, we want these things, but how much are we really starting with ourselves with versus giving that power away or hopes that we will receive that from others? And that's where that fun, good old mirror comes in, where the reflection of myself, and it gets boring sometimes. You hear it over and over again in the spiritual world, but how can you receive something you're not giving yourself? And I thought about that. I was like, wow. I mean, how can I be super comfortable with myself if I'm not, and I'm wanting someone to provide this for me, or I'm wanting something to provide this for me? I find it interesting. I started thinking more about it. I love having these thoughts that bring me to more, that bring me to a place of clarity. And I started to really go into that more. I'm like, wow, to be secure or whole with yourself and to be really who you are is really to just accept who you are. And I think, isn't that the thing? That's the part of growth. That's the part of transcendence, or whatever. You accepting any scenario as it is first and being okay with it, and then having positive thoughts after that. I want, instead of thinking, oh, this is horrible and I hate this and why does this keep happening? It's more or less like, okay, this happened. And so what am I going to do? And so I forget if I've already said it in this episode or earlier, but I've hurt my hand recently and I have this time and there was things bothering me, and they say this as well. I'm sure you've heard it. You lean into the uncomfortable feeling. So I did. And I said, what am I really afraid of here? What am I really worried about? What am I really concerned about? And I realized, well, what were my intentions in these events or things that have happened or even the past? And did I really mean to hurt someone? Did I really mean to do this? Sure, this is embarrassing. We can go over so many different experiences maybe you've had. But when you start to unbox this in this unique way of understanding, you give yourself kind of this grace that brings clarity forward. It also brings this peace because you can make peace with it. And throughout these thoughts, I realized, wow, I've been carrying these emotions about different things. A lot has to do with showing up 100% present, but more so what I want to add to that is being free to be yourself. And that I'm sitting here smiling because what does that mean? Being free to be yourself is such a gift for yourself. It's not holding on to these negative thoughts and feelings that you've carried with you for so long. A lot of us want to feel understood and be accepted, whether that's with friendships, whether that's with your career, your goals, your dreams. We just want to be we want to be accepted and seen and it's okay, And for a long time, I'm not going to lie, I was trying too hard. I was trying to be this version of me that wasn't in alignment. He wasn't happy with himself. He wasn't content. He was hurt. So whoever you are, maybe you have things in your past that you're still carrying, that you're hurt from, and you want to show up 100% and be present. What does that mean to be present? I honestly didn't realize how hard that was to not be distracted, by your thoughts, your feelings, insecurities, mistakes, and be whole with yourself. Being whole with yourself is being secure. We really a lot of times we're insecure and we want to feel comfortable enough to be secure. That could mean, you need this bill paid and you're worried about it and you need to be secure. So in order for you to be secure, you got to get this done. Or you need that love, you need that loving relationship and you're not secure. And once you have that, then you can be happy. A lot of these scenarios pop up what is it going to take for you or John Doe or whoever to feel happy and whole? Isn't that interesting? What does one need? And that's where that whole external, I was thinking about it, the whole external world, the validation, the need for something to then be able to go, okay, I can be happy and comfortable. It goes back into this thinking of I'll be happy when, but going into the stillness helped me. And that's why I'm sharing with you. I hope this helps you. That's why I love sharing things. I hope this helps you in some way. But letting go. And it brought me to surrendering. What does that mean to surrender? It's giving this all out in a way to God, source, creator, universe, whatever you want to call it. I prefer God. That you don't need to hold on and worry so much anymore. You can give it to God, source, creator. And you don't need to control. I think we try to control almost everything, including our comfortability or how we show up in the moment, when just being yourself is enough. And I think it comes with a challenge because we want to be happy and present. And in order to be happy, we have to dissemble what it is that is bringing us this unhappiness, to be free to be ourselves. And that's what I think I'm really discussing with you right now and sharing with you, is that in order for me in particular to have found that, not everything that happens is good, but not everything that isn't good has to be what it is. It can actually be a moment of a positive opportunity. And that's what happened here for me. It's a positive opportunity. It allowed me to choose to be still, to be with myself, to not run from myself, and to really think about and feel what I've experienced, where I'm at, what I'm struggling with. Why is that important? And so I let go. And I in a loving way, forced myself to be still. And I had a lot of great thoughts. And that's this part of the segment. Let me keep sharing these other thoughts with you. The more I did this, the more I discovered kind of the oneness. The oneness is the connectedness within each and every one of us, who we are. And the more I loved and learned about myself and these experiences and making peace with it, the more I loved the thought of the connectiveness of people, and we're all kind of dealing with the same things, and we're all looking for the same things, and we're all just looking to love ourselves and to be understood, to be seen, to be free, not to be so distracted, and to embrace who we really are. And today in particular, I felt this creative energy coming forward, and that's why we're doing this podcast today. And I kept thinking, well, what do I need to talk about? What do I really need to share? What do I really, universe, God, source, creator, what is it that, and at first I noticed this feeling that came with it. And I was like, wow, this is kind of familiar, but not good. And it's this controller need to know what I'm meant to share or what I'm meant to talk about. And I thought, that's a controlling of what? And I thought about it more and I felt about it. I was like, well, isn't that some sort of validation, right? It's the need to give something in return, or knowing that that was what it was meant to be, and I get all this these views and likes. And I realized, I was like, no, that's not what this is about. This is about giving and being who I am without controlling it, without the need for perfectionism, without the need for a return of love, without, I'm giving what I feel is good, what I like, and what I'm in the moment of sharing and putting it out there. And that's what's important. And a lot of these thoughts that I'm having, this intuitive guidance, if you will, comes in this beautiful package of being free to be yourself. It's such a great message, and showing up present, being yourself. And also, you kind of have to add this to it in a way, letting go of the parts of you in some way that no longer need to exist anymore. Continue the conditioned mindset, the way you've been thinking or feeling. So you kind of have to, the word is, I don't know the word right now. You have to appreciate who you're becoming, and you have to let go and surrender to the old. Surrender. These are the key words to this episode. I mean, fully present, surrender, letting go, and it comes with uncomfortability in a way. It's like being super vulnerable. It's not caring what people are going to think about you. It's stepping into a space that is exciting, but you have no control over, and it feels like you don't know what could happen, but in every moment that it is happening, you are fully immersed in it. And we can put this into so many scenarios. But rather than trying to control something to make it bend to your will, and you get what you want, and you hope you get what you want, and it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, through this stillness, I've also come to appreciate just being still and looking at the scenery, enjoying the moment as it is. And it's such a great, I really hope that you find this. I hope that you practice it. It really just started for me with, yeah, sure, I hurt my hand, but like at the same time, I just started being still. And I think a lot of practices talk about this, but being with yourself and not avoiding yourself is such a step in the right direction. And how things do come up for me, and I hope for you, you're able to look at and feel with unconditional love for yourself, and free yourself from these mental and emotional entanglements that not allow you to be fully present. It's quite interesting. For a long time, I had different thoughts too that weren't positive. They were negative and giving power away to scenarios, and they didn't help me really be myself. It was almost like I wanted to make an excuse for why things didn't go the way I wanted them to go, or why I wasn't fully happy. And fear is really fear is an illusion. when you take the power away from fear, it's really just a trickster. You know, a trickster is some form or another, an archetype that keeps tricking you because you want something, but when you finally just like almost like don't care, don't want it anymore, it's like, oh, you really don't care, don't want it anymore. I might as well give it to you. Gives you, it just keeps misdirecting you. Oh, look over here, look over there. And it's almost kind of like the same, like fear prevents you from seeing the good. It prevents you from really living fully. It prevents you from being happy. When you take that power away from fear, whatever scenario you might perceive, and you're like, no, I'm not afraid of this. I'm not afraid of that. It can't affect you as much. And you start to cultivate this new space of a reality. And I think that that's what I'm trying to say here is that what really hinders us from being fully in the present moment, and what really hinders us from seeing the good in life and really embracing the good in life. And it's the fear of the past being repeated. It's the fear of not receiving the love that you're really looking for, not being enough. They're all illusions. They're all illusions. And the more you really love yourself and you really accept who you are, you really, really love who you are. It's not about the clothes, the car, the money, the illusions. It's about loving yourself so much that it's not an egotistical thing. It's just showing up comfortably. You're not masking yourself. You're not uncomfortable internally. You love yourself so much that, yeah, you've experienced these things, but you know who you are. You know who you are, and you're not afraid to be who you are. Reminds me of dating, right? And the dating sucks. I mean, like, not that I want to carry this belief, but as a single male, I find myself like in dating where it's the conversation's limited, and then it doesn't go past conversation, and then there's you go on a date, and then then they ghost you, and then. But I also realized too that I've just been looking for acceptance, to be seen, to be understood, and I can't receive that. And I think I said that earlier. How am I supposed to receive that if I didn't? I'm saying it now. If I'm not receiving it, how can I receive something I'm not giving myself? And to love yourself is to also understand, like, you know what? This is who I am, and I love who I am. And understanding that whomever you're going to be with will understand that as well and love you for who you are. And what I'm basically saying in a nutshell is we think sometimes that we can't be loved because of all these reasons. Or maybe it's difficult to love you because of all these reasons. And we have all these, probably don't have this because of all this stuff. But it goes into intertwine with being, you are worthy. You are worthy of the good. And we kind of look for this validation in the world to prove that we are. And all I'm saying here is that when you love yourself and you think about these, and you love yourself in a mindset where you're understanding of yourself, like if you're talking to a friend, a really good friend, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I've had that, but I only knew what I knew then in that experience, and maybe that experience sucked, but I was only suffering because I was in pain still from the past, and I didn't realize it. These are the thoughts that come up. Well, they did for me, and they should for you too. You give yourself this grace to understand yourself as to why, especially in my thoughts and beliefs, is that your reality is a projection of yourself. when you start to really love who you are and understand who you are and appreciate who you are and you're not running from yourself. It's why I really emphasize the stillness. You don't have the same beliefs you did before, because you're like, wow, you know what? I was in this illusion that the fear held me back from being fully present. The fear held me back from this belief that I really want to believe, and I allowed it to take some power away from me. These subconscious fears of our experiences holding us back. I've had recent experiences over the past couple months where, something may have happened in the past where it wasn't a good outcome, but I chose to stay positive, and it was better than I can imagine. And the universe kept showing me, that happened, but we're actually going to bless you with positive stuff now. And it was the weirdest thing. It was like, boom, something. I was like, oh man, how am I going to handle it? And for a long time, being a spiritual individual, I overthought everything. I was one of those individuals where, what's the words are? I analyzed. I was too awake, too woke. I was too woke. I was too conscious and aware of my thoughts, but it was keeping me in a loop. And I was thinking in the wrong mindset where it's like, why is the universe doing this to me? What is the meaning? It was kind of like a survival mode type thing where I was in survival mode for so long that I just didn't know how to think outside of that. But then these moments would happen, and the universe just kept showing me no, you're good. No, you're good. You good. It's all good. Check this out. Ready? This is what you're going to do. And I chose to take action differently, in a different mindset, in a positive mindset. I was like, if you will, I leaned into the fear per se in a positive manner. Instead of running from it, how can I embrace it? And I think that's what fear really is. That was the first video I ever did on social media as a millennial's third eye is, what am I really afraid of? And embracing that rather than running from it. It's almost like you're bringing a torch into a dark cave, and you're like, I'm not afraid anymore. And then when you get into the cave, it's like, oh, this is even better than I expected. You're not running from yourself. It's also going back to being still. I'm not going to keep avoiding what is uncomfortable. Let me go within. Let me really sit here. And man, has this been an experience that I just couldn't help myself but share with you. And it came in this nice little package, to be honest with you. Start with stillness, and now we're at creative outlet and free to be yourself and be who you are. And that is freedom, isn't it? Freedom, for the most part, is an illusion that many think is money. But when you shift your perspective from the reality and the illusion to the freedom of self and what has been holding us back or holding yourself back from being free, it's really just this illusion and these experiences that you have put shame, guilt, sorrow, and all this pain and loss and failure. And when you look at each one and unpack it, and you really go, well, what really happened here? Well, I didn't understand then what I know now. And I forgive myself. And, I never meant to really do those things. But I'm understanding of it now, and I see myself now, and I see myself then. And it sucked then, but I didn't know how to handle the pain I might have been going through. I didn't even realize I was going through that pain. And then you can be more free because you're not trying to be okay every day. You're not trying to find clarity to your life and experiences and journey like I was, that will then bring wholeness. That's the whole insecurity, security thing. I'll be secure when. I'll be happy when. And so what I'm sharing with you right now is that internal wholeness, that internal unboxing, that internal peace, that internal freedom to be who you are. and not be afraid anymore to be who you are and accept who you are, love who you are. Yeah, you know what? I've been through all this stuff, but I love who I am and who I've become and who I'm becoming. And let's be honest. Is this the last time I or we or you might have some sort of experience that's like, oh no, I can't believe that happened? No, but you're going to be able to manage it better, because the more we love ourselves, we have a better direction and clarity to that wholeness, to that peace, to that unboxing, rather than it being so complicated. And that's who I've been. Hi, my name's Joe, and I have been complicating everything for a long time. But it's being at peace with everything and not being so hard on yourself that you think you need to do something. I think that the foundation that I'm sharing with you right now is such a flourishing part where you're going to be able to ask yourself eventually, do I really want to do this? Why do I want to do it? Is it for me? Or is it for some sort of external validation? And taking your power back. You start to realize the more you understand yourself, you'll understand other people, especially in scenarios where they're maybe coming at you in a negative way. And you're like, wow, this person it's okay. They just don't love themselves. And there's some other rooted issue and it has nothing to do with me. So this is a Millennial's Third Eye. And I hope you really enjoyed this episode where I'm beginning to just be who I am. And I hope you become more free to be who you are, and you find that peace and the stillness that you're looking for, that you might not have truly realized you were looking for. If you like this, I hope to hear from you, and I hope you follow, like, and share. If you don't, it's fine. I'm going to still keep being myself and love myself, and I hope you do the same. Peace.